Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx here in the DJ City UK lab. Today I'm reviewing the Reloop Neon. This is an add-on controller for Serato DJ. So your existing setup, whether that's an all-in-one controller like this Vestax 380 or an SL box or a certified mixer, any of those, this will bring a few extra functions to the table and work in a slightly different way. It's basically very small, very compact and very easy to use once you get your head around the various functions on there. So I'm going to show you around it now and we'll see how we get on. So considering how small the unit is, I'm really astonished how much functionality Reloop have managed to pack into the Neon. Each one will do 4 decks for you. So if you've got a 4-deck setup, it will do 4 decks. In my case, I've only got 2, so I can flip between deck 1 and deck 2 over here. And you've got 3 and 4 there as well. This is in the hot cue mode. You can set your hot cues. You can delete your hot cues. It's all there. And the pads feel really nice. When this is on a flat surface, it feels like it's not slipping anywhere. The feet are nice and grippy. It just feels like you can pound on it all day. Just really, really nice touch, you know, to actually use it. They are velocity sensitive pads, so when you're in the SP6 sampler mode, you can go for the velocity sensitive mode on those. And the SP6 is pretty much the most advanced implementation of this I've ever seen. So you've got all these different controls there. You can adjust the playback mode for each one. So whether it's hold or toggle, whatever you want. You can adjust the looping for it, so whether it loops or not. You can adjust whether it syncs to the playback decks that are going on. You can adjust the overall volume for it. You can go between the different banks. You can adjust each pad's volume independently as well. So much powerful control over the SP6. As I say, better than anything I've seen before. I'll just get a track playing and we can see that we've got the slicer mode as well. And you can adjust the quantizing and the slice length in there as well, nice and easy. Loop slicer too. You've got the hot cue, which I've already talked about. There's flip mode in there as well, so you can record your flips and get them all saved from the unit quite happily. The hot loop mode is not quite what you might expect. It's actually for your saved loops. So I've got 2 saved loops here, and you can shift and reloop to those straight away. And just load up all your saved slots there quite happily. And you've got manual loops, so you can actually set one as well. Let's come out of the one we're in at the minute. There we go, and we'll just set a new one. So this is to activate the loop. And you can save them, you can move through the different slots and load them up and move them into different slots. Again, loads and loads of power there. What you don't have direct access to is the loop rolls and the auto loops from the pad. You have to use this encoder over on the right hand side. Now, that might not work quite so well for some people. It depends on your workflow really. So I can set a 1-beat loop there by pushing the encoder, and I can turn it to change the length of the loop quite happily. And same thing applies to loop rolls. It's going to be hold down shift as well. It can just about be done one-handed, but you kind of do want 2 hands to do it really. This is the one area where I'm kind of in 2 minds about the Neon, and it's basically the effects side of things. Because it is all about the pads and there aren't the knobs there. Typically on Serato DJ stuff, you've got the 4 knobs and you've got the buttons to go with them. So you can adjust the depth for everything. You can adjust each parameter and leave it set as per your choices with the knobs. On this, it's the pad effect. So what you've got instead is the pad, you push it down and it turns the effect on, and the velocity you push the pad with affects how much it's applied. And that makes it quite hard to say, do an echo, for example, and leave it off, because what you can do is hold the pad where you want, hold shift, and it will stay locked in place. But that's kind of, it's a little bit unintuitive, especially if you're used to that regular Serato DJ kind of setup. But you can do some very creative things with multiple effects and so on with that. You've got 3 different effects running. We can turn them all on and use them in a different way. So it's just working in a different way. And you've got to decide whether that is a good way of working for you, the pad effects, because it is cool, like when you use it in the right way. Just turning on a bit of reverb. And then I can hit the shift button and it will carry on. There is a lot of cool functionality there, and there's a shift layer on this as well, so you can do that as well. It's just a different way of working, and as I say, you've just got to decide if that is going to work for you. or if it's not. For my particular style, I'm all about these, you know, echo fade outs and so on, and it might not work quite so well for me, but I think for a lot of people it would work really well. You have got the track library functions as well, so you can load up your tracks for each deck. Very simply, just push down on the encoder and that will load your new track into the deck that is selected over there. You've got other modes as well, so you've got relative, internal as well. You can do the sync on and off from here as well. So that's it, the Reloop Neon, short and sweet little tour around its features and so on. And ultimately I can report that, you know, in terms of club use and stuff, this thing has worked really, really well. The pads are bright, they feel really, really good. If you're into the hot cue kind of drumming and the SP6 drumming and stuff like that, this thing will be far and away a better choice for you than the Akai AFX. This thing is very cool. It's got the traditional effects parameter controls, which I do like. The pads are nice, but they're fingertip size, you know, they're quite small. This thing is all about getting your hands on those pads and really hammering away, and it's gonna work superbly for you every time. It feels so sturdy, so reassuring. The pads just feel absolutely great. They really, really do. I do wish the loop length, the auto loop length was on the pads instead of on the encoder. For me, that is a bit fiddly to work with like that. I prefer them to be on the pads, but it's not a deal breaker. And you might find that you're a person who's got lots of saved loops and so on, in which case the hop loop mode will be much, much better for your use. So you've just got to look at what works for you, what works for your setup, how you're going to integrate it into your setup, and what kind of style of DJ you are. You know, if you're looking for a great controller with a great set of pads, and that's really all you're about, then the Neon, absolutely. If you're really into tweaking the effects parameters 100%, then the AFX might be a better choice. $150 though, value-wise, it's absolutely superb. So thank you for watching today. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel for future tips, tricks, and reviews, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.